What if I told you that this mutual fund earns higher returns by lending your money to riskier companies? Sounds dangerous. Well, that's exactly why thousands of investors are interested in SBI Credit Risk Fund. But here's the question: would you trust a borrower who pays more interest because banks don't fully trust them? Let's find out. Imagine you have 1 lakh. Two people come to you asking for a loan. The first person has a stable job, a good salary, and a strong repayment history. The second person has a weaker financial profile. Now, guess who offers a higher interest rate? The second person, because he has to convince you to take a bigger risk. And that is exactly how SBI Credit Risk Fund works. Have you ever invested in something thinking it was safe only to discover later that it wasn't as safe as you believed? SBI Credit Risk Fund is a debt mutual fund, but unlike many debt funds that mostly lend to the safest borrowers, this fund intentionally lends a significant portion of its money to companies with lower credit rating. Why? Because these companies pay higher interest. Higher interest means higher returns, but it also means higher risk. Most investors look only at returns. Very few investors ask where the fund is actually investing their money. Let's look at where the fund has invested. About 41% is invested in debentures, around 16% is invested in non-convertible debentures, nearly 11% is invested in bonds, and about 8% is invested in infrastructure investment trusts. Now, let's look at the quality of the borrowers. Around 28% is invested in AA rated companies. 16% is invested in AA minus rated companies. Only around 11% is invested in top rated AAA borrowers. And about 13% is invested in government securities. That means a larger portion of the portfolio is invested in medium quality borrowers rather than safety borrowers. This is the part most investors never read before investing. Now you might be wondering, who should invest in this fund? This fund may be suitable for investors who understand credit risk, can tolerate some uncertainty, want potentially higher returns from the debt portion of their portfolio, have at least 3 to 5 years of time horizon. If you need this money within next 1 year or 2 years, this fund may not be the right place for it. Who should avoid investing in this fund? Investors who are looking for FD like safety, they should never invest. Senior citizens who prioritize capital protection, they should never invest. People who panic during volatile market, they should not never invest. Investors who need money in the short term, they should not invest. The biggest mistake investors make is expecting higher returns without accepting higher risk. SBI Credit Risk Fund has delivered around 7.48% annualized return since launch. But remember, those returns came because the fund took additional credit risk. So don't invest just because the returns look attractive. Invest only if you understand how those returns are being generated. Because in investing, the real risk is not about volatility. The real risk is investing in something you don't understand. Now tell me honestly, would you invest your money in a fund that lends to riskier companies for higher returns? Comment yes or no and tell me why. And don't forget to save this video because understanding risk can save you from costly mistakes. Thank you.